Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever and whenever you are joining us. Welcome to our latest edition of What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. The date is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026, at approximately 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time, for those of you keeping track. If you're new to our program, we like to think of ourselves as the sports show for sports fans about sports. We like to focus on what happens inside the lines of competition, rather than the outside noise that dominates much of our sports rhetoric nowadays. Now, before we get started,
Dominate. Had a little twang there, buddy. I'm just
gonna hit end, and we'll just end this debacle here. But before we get started, all right, little intros for us. That was the man Stephen Comlow chiming in. The boy Stephen Vesci is here, and of course, I am your host, the coach Nick Vesci. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, and all that information can be found on our website, WCMEsports.com. Now, without further ado, we get into our top catch for the show, and this week we went with the Olympic hockey, specifically the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team. If you missed it, the U.S. defeated Canada 2-1 in overtime thanks to Jack Hughes' golden goal a minute 41 into the extra session. It's the first time the U.S. men have won Olympic gold since the 1980 Miracle on Ice team, a span of 46 years. So, had never happened in our lifetime. I guess the first time in our lives, the three of us sitting here, that we've seen the men win Olympic gold. American goalie Connor Hellebuyck made 41 saves. It's the most saves in a gold medal game that involved NHL players. He even had the secondary assist on Hughes' game-winning goal. I don't know if you know that, which is kind of awesome.
But wasn't MVP.
Who'd they give that to?
They gave it to McDavid.
Yeah.
We're just going to give McDavid another MVP for a tournament he didn't fucking win.
Correct.
Yep.
Team USA was 18 for 18 on the penalty kill in the tournament, including killing off about a minute and a half on 5-on-3 against Canada. And that's a shout out and testament to two Rangers, by the way, Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller, who a lot of people said
playing in that situation.
Yeah, because the Rangers suck. But two guys who people were like, why do they take him? They don't score enough for this. Everyone has a purpose on a team, right? That's why Tom Wilson was on the Canadian team. He was essential for them. So Trocheck,
because we built our team with whiskey drinkers, not milk drinkers, whiskey drinkers.
Hell yeah, a lot of whiskey drinkers in that locker room.
Forward and Brock Nelson.
Trocheck getting. Did you see Trocheck? The camera on him as they're like standing with their medals, and he's just like pointing to like his family or something, or his buddies or whoever it is, and he's just going, I'm getting fucked up tonight. I'm getting fucked up.
Forward Brock Nelson became the fourth member of his family to win Olympic gold. His grandpa and great uncle were on the 1960 U.S. hockey team that won gold in Squaw Valley, and his uncle Dave Christian was on the 1980 team. And it's the first time that the U.S. has won Olympic gold in both men's and women's ice hockey. The U.S. is also the first country ever to hold men's and women's gold and the men's and women's world championships at the same time.
Hell yeah.
Because we won both those tournaments last year. So,
yeah.
I thought you were going to hit the button for the Ron Swanson thing.
No, so couple of really, really good shout-outs. Number one, give it up for Charlie McAvoy. Give it up for Charlie McAvoy. My man went full goon to save a goal when Hellebuyck was a little out of position. My man knelt down on the line, took a shot off the chest. Huge. Second, just piggybacking off of what you were talking about, Connor Hellebuyck. I mean, what a fucking goalie. I mean, if you don't already consider him to be the best, he will be the best American goalie in history.
I think this solidifies it.
I think it does as well.
I think it does as well. Talked about this, I think, last year. I read an article about like some of the great American goalies, like Mike Richter, right? Said Hellebuyck already is the best American goalie.
Yes.
But these other goalies that they're comparing him to had kind of those signature moments, right? Hellebuyck plays in Winnipeg in this like the smallest market. They really haven't done much. We didn't win the Four Nations last year, but this was his signature moment that now it's almost undeniable. That
3 Vezinas, a Hart Trophy, and a gold medal. And just from this game alone, had a slamming the door shut against Devon Toews right on the doorstop. Kept the U.S. alive in it. That was huge. We had a little bit of really good luck with McKinnon missing that wide open net after receiving that cross crease pass. That was huge.
But would you call it luck? Like it's not luck because he didn't execute. right?
It was
It's
divine.
just a
I think it was divine intervention, is what I think.
I just think it's a
Divine
result of
intervention, luck. I mean,
hockey,
whatever. If the
right?
puck is leaning the other way, maybe he scores it. I don't know. I mean,
But that's
I
you
would
know,
say
that-
luck.
I don't know. I would say the second best player in the world should put that puck
right.
in the net.
He
Yeah.
should, but it
Mm-hmm.
That felt like missing a wide open layup.
it did, but that
did it not
happens though.
not to LeBron James.
No, but no, I was just about
airball.
to say. I was just about to say he's the right. We said the funny like fake stat that LeBron's the only player to airball a free throw in 3 different decades.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, again, that happens, right?
Mhm.
So it's hard. Yes, you say, "Oh, it's luck" because he bears it every time.
You can do
Vladislav
something right 1,000 times.
Tretiak stops almost every shot, but they pulled him in that game inexplicably against the U.S. back in 1980. The Soviets did. So it's like,
There was speculation that
You
Tretiak
can't-
was dealing with an injury.
yes, but you can't. I don't like saying that it's luck. Like these things happen.
Yeah.
Right. They do.
But who's to say when they happen?
There's countless things, right? I mean, heck, a baseball one for you. Luis Castillo, remember that walk-off against the Yankees when he was on the Mets? He's camped under the pop-up and, like, slips and drops an easy pop-up. Like, those things happen.
Yeah,
That's
it's a stroke
that's
of luck.
sports. It's sports. It's not – I wouldn't say it's a stroke of luck. At the end of the day,
Anyway,
the Yankees won that game.
move
At the
on.
end of the day, the Americans won this game.
Move on.
That's-
Go to your next point, Kamala.
I think just a all around huge shout out to just the absolute defensive efforts. The entire second, the entire third period, the ice was tilted in Canada's favor. And had it not been for the U.S. really just kind of out of necessity parking the bus and just focusing on we're going to counterattack when we can, but other than that, we're going to weather the storm. Because I think they only registered 3 shots in the third period or something ridiculous like that. They only had 1 shot in the first 10 minutes of the third period.
No, so the shots were very uneven in the second. The shots were fairly
That
even
5
in
on
the
3,
third.
the 5 on 3 power play also contributed to that a lot.
Even though
Yes.
there weren't many shots on goal during that power play, that there's like a trickle down effect of having to kill that off, and right, it essentially, like you said, tilted the ice so that they were always on the front foot, and that led to a fairly, what you would think, dominant period by the Canadians that only amounted to 1 goal. Like you said, Kamala, I thought our defenders played incredible for the first period and for like the first part of the second period until we got those penalties, and then we kind of got gassed. Right, but without their stellar play to start the game, you could argue maybe we wouldn't have been ahead 1-0 on that Matt Boldy goal.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
way,
not just necessarily like the blue liners specifically. I just mean like overall defensive efforts. Everyone's back checking and everyone's focusing on repelling what felt like a constant attack for 40 minutes.
Austin Matthews included. Austin Matthews
Yes.
offensively during this didn't look like much, but
No.
defensively looked like Patrice Bergeron at times,
Yes, he did.
which is something that his game doesn't get credit for, and I think that's a reason why he was wearing the C. Like, that's always been a lot of speculation. Why is he wearing the C for Toronto? Why is he wearing the C for the Americans? He doesn't do this,
Leads
this,
by
and this.
example.
Yeah, that. Like, he had great defensive help and back checking.
And
during
then
the game in the tournament.
I'm gonna hit you with what I think. I haven't seen anyone else talking about this. This might be a hot take, Nick. I think you're gonna agree with me, but you guys let me know what you think. Canada cycles any other defender other than Makar, I think their odds of winning shoot up astronomically. And let me walk you through my reasoning. We've said, Nick specifically has said, offensive-minded defensemen don't typically get it done in big games. This was the equivalent to a Stanley Cup Game 7. And the fact that they had their starting 3 for Canada was McDavid, McKinnon, Makar. They had nobody really that was defensive focused. I think Makar's offensive mindedness is what drives him to pinch up and challenge that puck that Jack Hughes pushes forward, which leads to the break where Werenski goes in, gets shoulder to shoulder with McKinnon, finds Hughes in the high slot. That leads to the game-winning goal, because it was essentially a 3-on-1, right? McKinnon being the only Canadian in the defensive zone when the U.S. comes in. So Makar is grossly out of position. He's the last one to come into the defensive zone, if he comes in at all, actually, prior to the shot. but him and McDavid are both coasting through because they're expecting McKinnon to come up with the puck when he gets shoulder to shoulder with Werenski. So I think huge oversight by John Cooper in starting Makar.
I'd love to break down that last play a little bit because what I saw from that was McKinnon didn't know how to play the puck. He hesitated.
Because he's not a defenseman.
Because he doesn't know how to do it. That's part of what 3-on-3 does, right? Wanted the puck more, right? You have to want it more. And then you're watching Makar lollygag. He loafed. If you loaf, you're a traitor, right? That's the line. If you loaf, you're a traitor. And you can't loaf in that situation. And he had plenty of time to get back. He's fast, right? He's one of the fastest players.
But it could be could it be to Conlo's point that he played too much? I mean, I think he led them in ice time.
I don't care how much you played in that situation.
That's
why I think we won is because we were tougher. We hustled more. We were grittier. We found a way, and we were more resilient. And that last play, that last sequence, embodied that whole event, that whole game, the whole Olympics, everything leading up to it. That why this roster was built the way it was built. Who these players are. Who wanted it more. Watching McKinnon versus Werenski. Like that to me was huge. And then Makar.
If you were to look at you know how in NHL they give players like role assignments, that would be a grinder getting forechecked by or backchecked by a sniper or a playmaker, right? Like Werenski comes up with that puck 10 out of 10 times because that's what he does. He loves the slop. He was built for the slop, and was a slop. That was a sloppy play where they make contact and they both stand up. The puck kind of floats out there for a second, and Werenski's just that much quicker to it. Because if you look at it from almost like if you look at it at the angle where the camera is like above Hellebuck and you're looking down the ice, you see the moment they make contact, McDavid and Makar stop pumping. They start gliding for a second, and then in that split second, Werenski comes up with the puck, feeds it across the slot, finds Hughes, and Hughes buries it. And those two are still coasting.
Yeah, McKinnon telling everyone, you be the judge of who was better in this game. I could be the judge of who was the tougher team and who wanted it more.
But because
it was the U.S.
Arguments like that, I've been very, very upset at the arguments that are being made about 3-on-3 isn't hockey. 3-on-3 isn't hockey. Well, all right.
These
So
are the rules.
Spoiler alert, asshole. Your team knew this was the case coming into the game.
It was heavily favored.
Your team prepped for it. Your team prepped for it. Your team was aware of it. Your team had benefited from it up to that point. And to say 3-on-3 isn't real hockey and try to put an asterisk on this win, fuck you. Straight up, fuck you. That's absolutely ridiculous goon behavior.
It's funny. I brought this up last year, and I've said it before, and I kind of got eye rolled with it, right? About kind of the Canadian mindset towards certain things and how they react. This is classic that, right? It's they won't come out and bash people, but will say these things that undermine the accomplishment of the other team, right? The complaint about 3-on-3, it's no way to decide it, is garbage. It's hilarious. It's hilarious that they're saying this because if they
NHL
won,
players who do this regularly,
if they had won, no one would be saying it. For them to try to say, if we had won, the Americans would say it. No one said it in their. No one said it in their overtime game in the semifinals.
And I was texting our buddy, friend of the program, Bobby Neal Turnage III. I was texting him during before the Slovakia game, and I was watching the Canada game go to OT, and I was like, oh my god, dude, I hope we don't get to overtime with Canada. If we get there, if we get to overtime with Canada, man.
Yeah,
it's good night us. That McDavid, Makar, McKinnon line is just
it's a line that's been kissed by God.
Yeah, so unfair. And I was like, God, I hope we don't have to go to OT with them. And then here, they have the biggest advantage, and then here they are complaining because they lost.
You're right. It's chicken shit because it's let me say this again to try to undermine the other team's accomplishment without bashing the other team because that would be in poor taste to bash the other team, right? And that's where chicken shit, whatever you want to call it,
I like that term, chicken.
Small. It's small. It's not losing with class either, which is hilarious because again, the narrative if the U.S. had lost, it'd been they're arrogant.
Canada did what they were supposed to do.
Canada did what they're supposed to. The Americans are arrogant. They think they're this good. They think they're that. they didn't deserve to win because X, Y, and Z and all this stuff, and they would label them this, and this, and that's why it's kind of very ridiculous for them. Many of these Canadians, especially, I mean, John Cooper saying it caught me by surprise because he's not the type. I was when I heard that he said that, I was shocked.
I was shocked too. Shame
that
on him.
John Cooper would say that, because he's not that type of. At least from everything I've seen the NHL the last over decade, he's the longest.
I've always liked him
coach.
as a coach.
I mean, he's the best coach in the world right now. He's the best hockey coach in the world, and for him to say that I was shocked, because Canada had already tried to say that, or did say that excuse for the women losing, which is ridiculous in and of itself for them to say that, and to belittle that accomplishment as well. And then for the men to just come back around and recycle a garbage excuse is classless. It is. And again, that the best part of it is that anything that an American will say or could say or react to it will come across to them as classless and arrogant.
100%. They'll hear what they want to hear. I'm tired of the nice Canadian is a bullshit thing. That's not a real thing.
So to that point, I've been following, like, throughout the Olympics, I've been following a lot of the Spit and Chicklets guys, Bisonet and Ryan Whitney and Yandel. And like, Biz is a huge Canadian, right? He loves Team Canada, whatever. But he's been giving a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's been going on. Apparently, like, Team Canada, the hockey team specifically, has been acting like total divas in the village.
Yeah, they've refused.
They've been keeping their village, like, barracks shut. They haven't really embraced the mentality of like camaraderie and community and togetherness that, like, is part of, like, being an athlete in the village. So shame on you for not embracing that. 2, he also had a lot of issues with, really, I guess, like, how they've been copping pleas afterwards too, right? Like, it's despicable. It's not good behavior. It's diva behavior. It's like, again, shame on you, right? Like, you got to give it up, right? I mean, you're all NHL players who are used to playing 5-on-3. You got away from your game plan. I think that one of the biggest mix-ups of Canada, like, when we went into overtime, like, I looked at Tess and said, if they win the opening faceoff, we're cooked.
Yep,
because
I thought the same thing.
Because anyone that watches NHL 3-on-3 knows you win the faceoff, you set up in the offensive zone, and you cycle the puck and tire the people out. That way, when you start ripping shots, the other team is typically too tired to go for rebounds, and you just keep going and you keep piling on. But they won the faceoff, went down, and immediately ripped a shot without even thinking about it, which I thought was kind of crazy.
So, see, I actually thought, and again, it sounds like I am not in the majority on this, I thought 3-on-3, once we got there, would favor us. And the reason for that is the Hughes brothers. Because I've been critical of them.
Yes.
In a lot of, like, toughness aspects. Obviously, you can't question that now. But the reason I thought it would favor us is because they are expert stick handlers. Sometimes, and we saw it in that game, right? Sometimes that can get Quinn Hughes especially in trouble because he might, he stick handles it too much instead of moving the puck or whatever and have a turnover in your offensive zone or in the neutral zone. But on 3-on-3, with all that open ice, you're free to stick handle. And like you said, Kamlo, now you're not trying to get past defensemen, right? You're not trying to get past, like, Hall of Famer Drew Doughty or Shea Theodore, right? You're getting past a forward who's not used to back checking, who's not used, skating backwards at all or doing those things, right? So I actually thought once we got to 3-on-3, it would behoove us because it would allow those guys, right, that we have to be open and be able to go against non-defensive minded players, which could allow us to have what happened. How that happened and unfolded, to me, wasn't a surprise in 3-on-3 because of who we have. I do want to bring up Werenski again.
Yeah.
And this is the comp I've had of him. I've watched him enough, I think. Ryan McDonough.
Okay.
An expert two-way defender who has the ability to do what he did, go into the offensive zone, make a play in a pass, but is also very good defensively. I thought he played very well defensively.
Columbus staple.
I mean, he is one of the best defensemen in the world. I think that's solidified. Like you said, he plays for Columbus, so not a lot of people know who he is or that, but they should now because his play, I thought, was excellent, especially, again, in that 3-on-3, which I said, you're probably the only defender out there. Right? And
Yep.
so for him to be able to do that was impressive.
So I think you kind of touched on it a little bit there. Is I believe that's why the Olympic Committee made the switch to 3-on-3, is because 3-on-3 is closer to, I guess, more like beautiful, pure pond hockey than like a shootout would have been, right? I think their thought process was they pretty much had three options. We do constant sudden death 5-on-5 like they do in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which I've heard they shied away from that because they wanted open ice, they wanted players to move, they wanted highlight reel goals. And with 5-on-5, you run the risk of like, oh well, I'm going to bank it in off this player, or it's going to go off someone's skate, and it's not going to be a very like pretty goal.
But it also too, normally the game ends quicker on
yes
3-on-3, right?
Yeah,
and so
that too.
The whole controversy, right, of not wanting NHL players in the Olympics is because of that risk of injury and all that stuff, right? But going to 3-on-3, you would think mitigates that a little bit because the odds of that game ending quicker go way up. That's less ice time for these guys, right? And it's also less physicality in that 3-on-3 because you can't take a run to take it.
You can't line anybody up. Yeah, you can't.
Correct. Yeah, because you take yourself out of that, and there's only two other guys on the ice with you. So I think that also went into it too.
I think so too. And then shootouts can go forever, and like the internationally IIH rules for shootouts, like we saw with Oshie back in 2014, right? There's a lot of repetition and redundancy with those. Now, don't get me wrong, I was jacked up after that, right? To see Oshie go back to back over and over and over again against Pavel Datsyuk was amazing. But yeah, I think 3-on-3 is the best option. I think it leads for quicker overtimes. It opens the ice up more. It lets the game breathe. And like we saw in the women's game, you get some fucking sweet highlight goals.
That goal was so good.
Yeah.
Megan
But
Keller.
I mean, it was a lot of the men's game was a lot of fun. I had a great time watching it. I was stressed beyond belief.
I didn't sit down the whole time.
I think it gives. I think it's a perfect example of like the margin for error and the thin line between storylines, right? I mean, Jack Hughes said it himself while he was sitting in the penalty box: was if we don't win this game, I'm gonna be the villain. I'll be hearing people talk shit about me on Barstool, right? Because he cut a power play.
It was a bad penalty.
He cut a power play short and gave Canada a scary power play opportunity when it already felt like they had all the momentum in the world. The U.S. was finally able to breathe, and Jack Hughes kind of stole a chance at momentum and a chance for greatness away from the team. So for him to be the hero, right? I mean, it's in an alternate world, like we could be sitting here saying "fuck Jack Hughes," right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary to think of. It's crazy to think of it that way. But I mean, yeah, that's sports. Yeah, that's luck.
Okay. One thing I will say, right? You guys brought it up, right? Being stressed and on edge and like invested in this, right? And it's an interesting thing to think about, like why, like. I know, Kamo, you played some roller hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie and I never got to play organized hockey. We played in our street.
I wish
right?
we could.
Yeah, we wished we could, but we never did that,
hockey.
Right? Whereas, we played every sport imaginable, right? Football, basketball, baseball. I played lacrosse for a year, right?
Yep.
All these different things, tennis camps and stuff like that, right?
We both have trophies from that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, it's amazing that the U.S. hockey team does this to us, right? And we're not alone in that. And, it kind of raises the question is why? Because, again, hockey, unfortunately, in our country is not as accessible as it should be, right? There's a lot of logistics to go with it. There's a lot
most popular sport.
I know, which is hilarious that we beat Canada in their number one sport, that's the best part of one of the best parts of it. But I guess what I'm saying is, I think one of the reasons that it galvanizes us so much, right? I mean, you saw George Springer taking BP in it, who plays for the Blue Jays, by the way, taking BP in a U.S. hockey sweater. Mm-hmm. Charles Barkley doing whatever inside or NBA Tonight, whatever it is,
whatever it's called,
inside the NBA, whatever it's called, wearing a U.S. hockey jersey, right? I think one of the reasons it galvanizes us so much, and we said this last year, is that we know it means so much to the players, right? These are guys who are fabulously wealthy, right? As long as they're on a second contract, they're fabulously wealthy. And then again, it's not Patrick Mahomes $500 million wealthy, but I was just, Jack Eichel, for example, right? When it's all said and done, when his contract is up in 2033, his career earnings will be close to $200 million. That's, 1%. That's the 1%er. He's a 1%er. All these guys out there, Austin Matthews' contract is huge. Again, even if it's not a $500 million contract, it's still like you're making over $10 million a year. You are a 1%er. And so these guys are making the conscious decision saying, I'm going to sacrifice everything. Matt Hughes is going to have his teeth knocked out, literally bloody for, part of the game and score the game-winning goal while getting paid nothing to do it just because he cares about what it means. Just because he recognizes that the name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the name on the back.
And he said it in so many words. And right after the game was over, he said, I'm proud to live in this country. I'm proud to be American. This is a huge win for all of us, right? Kind of like what we were talking about with the Seahawks. At no point was it like, I'm going to make this shot every time because I'm the best. I'm Jack Hughes. It was never like that. It was gratitude to the team, gratitude to the country, and pride. And it was beautiful to watch.
But again, he's not alone in that, and all these other not just Americans, but the other teams, right? Because think about it. The NHL players, I believe, refused to sign their current CBA unless it allowed for them to play in the Olympics. All of them. So again, it's not just Americans. You're talking Canadians and Slovakians and Czechs and Swedes and Finns, right? You're talking all these different people and nationalities: the Germans, the Danes, the Swiss,
the Italians.
No, I don't know if there's any Italians in the NHL, but
George Peros?
I think their goalie, is a Ducks prospect, Damien Clara. But the point is that all of these guys for that sport show that it matters to them. That matters. Like the representing your country, the playing sport for your country and for representing other people, not just yourself, matters, right? Yeah. And I think that's the biggest reason that it galvanizes us. That and the fact that the Miracle on Ice happened and we all watched the movie. Obviously, we know the story. Our parents lived through it and remember it as it's like one of those things every little detail about if you lived through it because it meant that much, right? And obviously, it's way different than what the 2016 accomplished here, but it shouldn't take away from what the 2026 accomplished. But I think that's one of the biggest reasons that these are 1%ers who are making a conscious decision to say, I'm going to do something that pays me nothing, right? That all of the risk is that I could get hurt and cost me money, right? But I don't care because I want to win for my country. I want to represent the shield and the name on the front. And I think that's a big reason why. And I think for a lot of people, it allows us to see some of ourselves in them. Like it's not this is a spoiled 1%er athlete, right? And I think for other sports, and specifically basketball and baseball, right? You don't really see that same sort of galvanizing spirit in some of these things. You don't see that I'm doing this because I want to represent my country. You see it almost as like people do it begrudgingly. I guess I'll do it. And they issue some disingenuous statement about, it's a privilege and an honor. I've always wanted to do this. And it's like, no, someone had to twist your leg to get you to come here to be on our team. That's not necessarily saying that you really want to be there, right? And I think that is a major difference and a big reason why, and we've talked about it, Olympic hockey is great, but a big reason why us as Americans care so much about Olympic hockey and care so much about everything, the ethos, the story, all of it around it is that, right? It's getting to legendary status, right?
Don't tell us something what we can't do.
Yes, it represents a lot of what we consider the American spirit, right? The underdog story, finding a way to win, the family, the brotherhood, but more importantly, being proud of your country, warts and all, and willing to sacrifice for the good of other people and to, win for that shield and that name on the front. And I think that's a big reason why it resonates so much with all of us.
Yeah. Well said.
I thought that was interesting. And again, I will say too, just to change notes, arguably the most satisfying part of that victory, and boy, you may agree
The
with
stuffed
me.
animal?
No, was the despondent looks on all of the Canadians' faces as they put that silver medal on them.
Mm-hmm.
It shines just as bright. Remember that.
Yeah, I mean, the gold medal is,
That's hilarious.
98% silver?
It is, yeah. Something
But,
like
well, so, I mean, like,
Hilarious.
so does it sting? I'm sure it does. But then, like, look at some players on that team who have always been passed up, right? I mean, silver for Macklin Celebrini, I'm sure. I mean, did he have hopes of gold? Sure. Who wouldn't in that scenario? But for Macklin Celebrini, it was his first Olympics after in the middle of his, like, what?
Celebrini.
Yeah, whatever. Celebrini, whatever. Big Mac. Ronnie the Rat.
What's your name?
Silver still means a lot. I mean, Tom Wilson, Logan Thompson, players who have been constantly passed over and looked over for higher, you could argue, for more talented players, right? Who finally get to represent their country. I mean, walking away with a silver medal, like it's still something. Like, you should still feel some semblance of pride, but like to sit there and like their looks and their faces, it wasn't sadness, it wasn't disappointment, it was like this is bullshit.
Yes.
Type look on their face.
That's
and
why
like,
it was the
The
best
look on
part.
and that's what
McKinnon.
that's what starts the narrative of everybody else in your whole country saying like, oh, this is bullshit, 3-on-3 hockey isn't anything, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
those
Mc-
weren't
it was
the looks of
McKinnon, and
gracious
I lost so
winner,
much
of great of like
respect for McKinnon.
those were sore losers.
Yeah, 100%.
and again that's part of what makes it great, right?
Satisfying. Yeah.
Satisfying.
also-
Yes.
can we also just for a
how just ridiculous they've been about it.
Can we talk about how fucked up the stuffed animals are for a second? I don't understand why they've
Hilarious.
been doing it the whole Olympics. It is funny, but like for the most part, you know, it's a lot of people who are like, you know, again, people who are happy to be there and happy to have their 15 minutes on the podium. Do they care if they won bronze? Do they care if they won silver? Do they care if they won gold? I'm sure, but like for the most part, it's been pretty like smiles. Thank you so much. You know, thank you for the stuffed animal. But then to see these fucking these pissed off like, oh, this is bullshit gladiators who just fought for over 60 minutes to get handed a stuffed animal. It's so condescending. Like, oh, here you go, buddy. Like, it's the equivalent of getting a lollipop after being a good patient at the dentist. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you did so good. Keep brushing. Like, you want something from the candy jar? Like, the stuffed animals were just, oh my god, it's just salt in
That
the
was
wound.
good. I do have to read a quote from the great Bobby Neal Turnage after he watched this game and texted me.
Let's go.
He said after further review of this game, the Canadians had tight butthole syndrome. Said McDavid breakaway, Celebrini breakaway, McKinnon wide open net, just to name a few. Helly had them in a blender in timely plays from huge players from USA when they needed it most. Tight butthole syndrome.
Love
100%
it.
accurate.
Love you, Neil.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out Neil Turnage, what was it? The distressed Alabama fan.
Disgruntled
Bama fan. Yeah.
Very gruntled right now.
That's a gruntled text right there.
Yes.
Takes a tough man to make such a tender forecast.
Thank you, Ernie Anastas. But yeah, it's trying to say that Canada deserved to win because they're a better team, and that all these other just kind of excuses.
Not unlike the Russians in 1980. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9.
I don't know.
But if this team played Canada 10 times, it'd be fine.
Yeah,
it's 1-1 right now.
All that matters is
we're 2-1.
Yeah,
we beat
Four
Canada
nations.
in the Four Nations.
Oh, and then we lost
in the
again in
final.
the Four Nations. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So now it's 2-1 us.
But again, what I was trying to say is all that matters at the end of the day is the scoreboard, right? You're hardly Canada, the first team ever to lose a game when you thought you should have won, right? That happens all the time. You're hardly the first team who's like, oh, we're a better team than them and lost. I mean, look at your Patriots. The times they lost to the Giants. You can't tell me those Giants teams are better teams than the Patriots. But you know what?
I would actively deny it.
At the end of the day,
change the fact that the Giants have 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
correct.
And the Patriots lost those 2.
Correct.
It won't change it.
That's all that matters, though. That's at the end of the day, that's all that matters because that's
Ball don't lie.
becoming a champion, and champions get remembered. And at the end of the day, people who want to sit there and cry and make excuses and say, "Oh well, the better team didn't win," go pound sand. You'll be lost to history the same way the USC Trojans lost to history to Vince Young in Texas, right?
The same way the British are lost to history in 1776,
Yes,
right? They were the better team.
they were.
They were bigger. They were more powerful.
I mean, the list is massive of quote. I mean, soccer. This happens all the time too.
Show me a 17-foot wall, I'll show you an 18-foot ladder.
Happens in Kamala, this happens in soccer all the time.
All
where
the time.
A team gets one moment of greatness and they capitalize, and the other team misses their chances and they win 1-0. And no one sits there and decries the outcome. They actually roast the better team and say, "You should have won. That's your fault."
Yeah.
Right? So for all of this trying to take away from the American medal and win is very Canadian.
Hit the bricks.
Right? Exactly. Go pound sand, go lick windows, kick rocks, whatever it is. And just a reminder, one, the U.S. will never let you live this down. And now the fact that you're complaining more and more makes it even better. But two, like Kamlo said, you and your number one sport, Canada, just lost twice to the U.S. in their number 4 sport.
Mm-hmm.
So again, go pound sand, lick windows, kick rocks. Do you have a soundbite for me, by the way?
I do. While I look it up, I'm not without spoiling anything. I watched that Miracle documentary on Netflix, and they're interviewing a lot of the different players, and they all affirmed Herb Brooks never used the F word. He said he had a lot of colorful metaphors and similes, but rarely, if ever, used the F word. And leading right before the gold medal game against Finland, because, you beat the Soviets to advance to the final. It feels like you've already won. Herb Brooks walked in and he gave a speech before every game. And all he said before the Finland game was, "If you guys don't win this game, you'll take it to your fucking grave," and then turned around and walked out. And, Canada probably needed a little Herb Brooks motivator there. All right, so I guess we'll cap off our top catch with some words of wisdom from Ron Swanson. Buckle up, boys.
How much postage does it take to send a letter to Canada?
Who's it going to?
Canada. It says, "Dear Canada, you."
The bleep was fuck. The bleep was fuck. He says fuck to you. Yeah, in case anyone was wondering.
Thank you. All right. This is going to take us to our 3 strikes. Strike 1. Kamala, hit the button.
I hit it. There you go.
Kamala, would you like to take strike 1?
Yeah, just kind of keeping in line with hockey. We've obviously been talking at length about the men's hockey. So let's talk a little bit about the U.S. women's hockey. The U.S. women's hockey defeated Canada in overtime when Megan Keller scored a beautiful deke dangle snipe in
One of the best
overtime.
goals I've ever seen. Considering all circumstances, it's one of the best goals I've ever seen.
Yeah, 4 minutes into overtime, Megan Keller dangled past a defender right to the front doorstep to
Backhand.
backhand
while getting dragged
goal.
Down.
It was a thing of beauty. That goal is right up there with Ovechkin scoring laying down, and any other. I mean, I would put that up against any highlight reel goal. Put it up against the Datsuk goals. Put it up against Crosby goals, whatever. I mean, it's beautiful, especially in the moment, right? The moment also plays a big thing into it, and it capped a dominating performance by the U.S. women's hockey players. At the end of the tournament, they finished not only with a gold medal, but they finished with 33 goals scored and 2 goals scored against them. That's a fucking bone saw. I mean, you want to talk buzz saws. You want to talk dominating performance. You want to talk just imposing your will on an opponent. Go watch their games in this tournament. It was a thing of beauty. And I think that a large factor in the success of this team is, you could say, the farm system, right? Griswold and I talked about it in one of the few hockey episodes that we did, but the Professional Women's Hockey League debuted in 2024, and 16 of the 23 women on this team play in the PWHL. So, it's a way for them to keep getting reps, stay fresh in a competitive environment, in a growing competitive environment. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. right? I mean, you want to talk about like seeds that get planted and you get to watch them blossom. You think like kind of how the dream team for basketball back in 92 in Barcelona planted seeds all around the world and had people looking at their own programs and developing their own programs. And now, if you go back to the Paris Olympics, we're finally seeing all these seeds that countries have planted for their programs blossom, right? Look at the French team now. Look at the Canadian team now. All these teams are so much more competitive. And the NBA, we haven't had a MVP that was American in the NBA in a very, very long time because the programs around the world and the talent development around the world has blossomed. And I think that comparison is spot on with women's hockey in America. This is the PWHL is a league that is hell bent on growing. They stream their games for free on YouTube. They're year after year they've been growing and planting more teams in more cities across the country. And this is as high a reward and as, again, proof that it's working as you could have, right? It's no longer women are playing in college, they're done, they go and they try to find some way to stay competitive and stay fit for the Olympics, or we're not just recruiting out of college, right? We have professional level female athletes in America that play hockey for a living, and that's a fucking awesome thing. And so I really wanted to highlight that, A, because that goal was so fucking sweet.
Yes.
B, because that team was just so imposing in how they executed. It was 5-0, 6-0, 5-0, 6-0 over and over and over again. Like kind of like when you watch the Miracle Game where Herb Brooks introduces the goalie to his team for Russia. He said, "This is Tretiak. If you score a goal, keep the puck." That's how many he lets in, right? This is, I mean, you score a goal against the U.S. women's hockey team, keep the puck, because they're not giving much.
They gave up one goal the whole Olympics, right?
Two.
$98.
999.
98.
Yeah.
98%. So again, I don't want to hear to the well, they were so good she wasn't facing them any shots. That doesn't matter though. When you're saving 98% of the shots that are against you, it doesn't matter if someone shoots 5 times or 50. That's still insane that you're essentially never letting a puck get past you.
Yeah. You score a goal against her, keep the puck, because she doesn't let in much. That's insane. But yeah, that's my strike. I was again just swelling with pride again, like because the hockey is typically the last two things to wrap up in the Winter Olympics, and so to cap off a super fun Winter Olympics in Italy, to cap off with two huge team combat sports like hockey coming home to America. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm busting at the seams with pride. I'm so happy. I'm so joyous, and I couldn't be happier for the athletes. I couldn't be more proud to say that they represent our country. I mean, I think that was a thing of beauty. That was a wonderful thing that the women did as well.
Yeah, I do want to tack on for hockey in general in the Olympics was unbelievable. Every game. Canada, Finland, Slovakia, Finland, us versus Sweden, us versus Canada. Like there were like 4 Game 7 Stanley Cup final type games. Oh, yeah. It was unreal, like how good that was. And I think like what a win for the hockey community as a whole during this Olympics.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%, Stevie. You said it's spot on. Yeah, it's a win for everyone that took the time to sit down and watch and take it in. And if this was somebody's first exposure to not just international hockey but hockey in general, like you got to see some awesome
the
games.
Best in the world.
Yes.
Play the toughest games, giving it everything. Mm-hmm. Like that was so cool. The whole Olympics.
Yeah. So that's my strike. That's all I got.
I like it. Hit the button.
Let's do.
Boy.
That is something that Scooble won't be saying much come World Baseball Classic time, because one of the best pitchers
180.
Yeah, I know. One of the best pitchers in the world decides that, a day after all of this happens, all of the Olympic hockey happens, where, wow, the pride of these hockey players, the U.S., everyone's on board. This was so amazing. This is incredible. These guys are in the middle of their season, and they're giving it everything to go after and play for their country. And a day after that, Skubal says, I'm going to pitch in one game. It's going to be in pool play. It's going to be against, the worst team, Great Britain. And that'll be it. And I'm on like a pitch count. And hopefully we get to the
Baseball Classic.
Yeah, in the World Baseball Classic. And hopefully we get to the finals in the World Baseball Classic. And maybe I'll be there to support them. That was his response.
Fucking criminal.
Unbelievable how that happens a day after the Olympics in hockey. It is ridiculous. This is arguably the best pitcher in the world, right? Him and Paul Skeens, and maybe you could throw someone else in there, but those two are probably the two best pitchers in the world, and the U.S. has them for this World Baseball Classic. And instead of getting to see him against international competition and a fun and an exciting environment, he decides, I'm not going to do that. And the argument, I guess, for it is like, well, he's in a contract year. He's going to, I don't give a shit. This guy's, again, Nick, you've said it. He's a 1%er. He's made enough money. He's going to make enough money, right? He's got the rest of the season as well. And like, I saw Lance Lynn, the Cardinals pitcher, right? I believe maybe former Cardinals at this point.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. He basically said, if I blow out my arm, I'd rather do it playing for my country and doing this. Like, I don't give a shit about the other stuff.
Tigers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like,
That's
I'd rather
disgusting.
blow it out during the World Baseball Classic than do it during the season. Like, this isn't going to destroy you.
Do you think that this stops them from, because baseball is an Olympic sport when it comes to LA in 2028? Do you think that he gets picked?
And they need MLB players. If they do not have MLB players, no one's going to watch. No one's going to.
But they're not going. I don't know. I actually don't think you're allowed to have MLB players. Like, I don't think
but they can change the rules.
But I think it's an Olympic rule. Is what I'm saying.
I know, but they can get it to have MLB players. Trust me.
I think it's an
Olympic
rule.
All right. Well, then the World Baseball Classic is it.
Yes, I know. I could be wrong, but I believe it's an Olympic rule. Like,
after the postseason where I defended Skubal and you guys ragged on me, and I was defending him because I was a fan of his, and you guys ragged me, rightfully so. At this point, looking back after this happens, you guys were 100% right. Way to compete. Right, way to compete. It's ridiculous. Listening to this and then doing it. This is the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman like mic'd up thing where Belichick is talking to Welker as Edelman takes a punt return for a touchdown and goes, "Oh, who's that guy? Wally Pipp? Like, that's you, because Edelman's taking your punt return spot." And Welker goes, "Well, he can have it." And Belichick just goes, "Oh, way to compete." Like, this is what I feel like. Way to compete, Skubal.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
So. Yeah, I mean, going right back to what we were talking about, like, it sucks because having him in that lineup makes our rotation so much dangerous. And looking at the U.S. roster for the World Baseball Classic, pitching is where we're going to struggle, right? So outside of Skeens and outside of Skubal,
pitching has always been an issue because of this mindset, especially amongst American pitchers. And part of it is a pitcher's mindset, right? It's kind of the way pitchers.
I only have so many reps.
Well, no, they're so idiosyncratic in a lot of their things, right? Their routines and all this stuff, their mindset, preparation. That they view anything in a change in that, and they lose their mind. The same way that they lost their mind when the pitch clock was introduced. Right? How many of those pitchers are still losing?
Crumbled.
Yes, and it's like no, and I think the bigger issue too is that it's amongst American pitchers. You don't see the Japanese pitchers, right? No. Yamamoto, who we talked about pitching on no days rest, pitched the most innings, got the most outs of any Dodgers pitcher in Game 7, right?
Yes.
He's on the World Baseball Classic roster, I believe, for Team Japan, right?
He is.
And I don't think it was ever a question in his mind that he was going to represent his country and do that. But yet for the Americans, it's always been an issue. Like, Kershaw is on our roster, and he's only on there because he said, I'll be on here to take up innings from guys if they need breaks or things like that. And it's like
wrong mentality.
Yes, noble of you, Kershaw, to do that. But why is this an issue for our country?
Correct.
Why is this pulling teeth to get pitchers to pitch for our country in this tournament?
They need to sit down and have a conversation with our fucking hockey team.
Well, like you said, boy, the Olympics. Again, I don't think they're allowed to have MLB players in it, and it's probably not going to have it, right? So this is your opportunity. This is your only opportunity, essentially, to represent your country, right? And it's this whole pool of teams, right, from all over the world, all these different players, and it amounts to, the Olympics. And again, what we talked about, why we care so much about the hockey team versus other sports, it's things like this, right? If you watch any of these World Baseball Classic games from the last one, the other countries, especially the Latin American countries,
Dominican
are packing
Republic.
the stadiums. They give a shit because
Yeah.
their players give a shit more and don't
think
care.
Japan gives a shit.
Oh, absolutely. And again,
I mean, it was the last World Baseball Classic where we heard that, like apparently all the Japanese players were like, I can't wait to go ask like Mike Trout for an autograph. I can't wait to go ask Aaron Judge for an autograph. And Shohei, I guess, apparently stood up and said, "How are you going to be able to beat them if you admire them? Have some
Yes.
pride."
Yeah,
And
what, like when I looked at the Ross, yeah, he did. Which was one of the most electric,
yeah,
like baseball games I've ever watched. It was so
Yeah.
good.
But again, to the point, could you imagine? I could see Paul Skeens doing that, but clearly Tarek Skubal would never do that.
Clearly.
Come out of the
No.
bullpen
Clearly
to
he doesn't give a
get
shit.
Otani, right? Oh, we need a lefty pitcher. Skubal, come out here to win us this tournament.
I put my innings limit. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a contract
I
year.
threw
That
a
would be
bull- I threw a
120
bullpen
pitches.
session 2 days ago. I don't know.
that would be my
It's a contract year.
101st
Can't do it.
pitch. I can't do it. Sorry.
And what bothers me about this is that 2 days or 3 days ago, I was looking at the roster and I was like, I actually really like our roster build for this
Yeah.
tournament. I like the
yeah.
players
more
they
than a
got.
lot of other years.
Yes, very
Our
much so. I was
roster
like,
looks.
I
our
like
roster's
this.
nasty.
And guess who the bench coach is? Michael Young.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Andy Pettit, pitching coach. Need
Yes.
him to-
Oh yeah, there are
Hell
some
yeah.
sweet coaches on our team. You
Yeah.
are
So
correct.
I know. I'm looking at the roster. I'm like, I love the infield. Right.
Mhm.
It's dudes that are hitters. Right. That are grinders.
You
Bregman,
got Gunner.
Clement,
You got
Bryce Terang, Bobby Witt. Right. That's your I know Gunner's still learning, but like the grinders, Bregman, Clement, Bryce Terang, and Bobby Witt Jr. Good luck getting those guys out
Mhm.
because they're gonna put up a fight every time.
And then
And
at
you
the
have veterans like
plate you
Goldschmidt
have
and Harper.
at the plate you have Judge, Schwarber, and Raleigh, who account for what, like 185 home runs from last season.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah, there's another grinder with Raleigh and Schwarber. Like,
yeah,
I love the roster build of this team, and then you have Scooble come out and do that shit, and it just pisses me off because, again, you talked about the pride in the other countries they have for this event and this sport, and I'm looking at the Dominican team, and you go, holy shit,
yeah,
that team is loaded.
Yeah.
That team is so good. Look at the Venezuelan team is really, really good.
yes,
And then Japan, and then what's amazing is Japan's like Indiana, right? There's like two guys where you
you don't
who
know.
they are.
Yeah,
right?
it's
The
guys
rest
you've
of their
never heard
team-
of.
The rest of their team doesn't play in the MLB, right?
Nope.
The rest of their team
But
is
they're
just
studs.
Japanese players. They're studs, but they're baseball players, right?
Mhm.
And they're willing to do all the little things to win a game, and they want it. Right? It feels like Japan's
want
Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to the Olympics, and this could just be like a thing for good press, but Rob Manfred has said publicly that he's working with the Olympic Committee to reach an agreement where they would extend their All-Star break by about 10 or 11 days to allow for MLB players to play. However, historically, we all know that MLB hasn't allowed players under contract in the show to play. It's typically collegiate athletes and minor league players.
Or retired guys.
Yeah, or retired guys, right? But like I think with it being in America, and I think that with the interest over that a lot of big name players have brought up, that I think it's possible it could get done. Like I know Shohei has advocated for it. I know Bryce Harper has advocated for it. Gunnar Henderson really wants to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if they it's one of those things where like I wouldn't be surprised either way. It's just one of those things we'll have to just wait and see how it plays out. But man, that would be so fucking cool.
I want it. I think
I
it'd be
want it too.
fantastic.
I do too.
That'd be
It was
But
so
I do
awesome.
want to read you
not going to
because
happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hope it happens, but I do want to read you the Dominican Republic infielders and outfielders because
Oh, no.
like you're gonna have choices between like all-star level guys and like future Hall of Famers. Junior Caminero,
Yep.
Vlad Jr., Manny Machado, Kettle One Martini, Geraldo Perdomo,
Yep.
Jeremy Pena, Ahmad Rosario, and Carlos Santana.
Good night.
Outfielders: O'Neal Cruz, Julio
Hmm.
Rodriguez, Johan Rojas, Juan Soto,
Juan
and
Soto.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yes.
That's
The team-
disgusting.
Yes.
That's a
Because
stacked
who's
team.
on their pitching staff too? Because I believe again,
Let's see, their pitching staff. They have Gregory Soto, Wandy Peralta, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Sandy Alcantara, Christopher Sanchez, Abner Uribe. He's really good.
stud. Yes.
Brian Bayo, Carlos Estevez, Luis Severino, Albert Abreu.
All these guys are like legit
Dogs.
starters. Yes, these are guys who are
Dogs.
on their teams are go-to guys, right? So it's not like this is every team's fourth starter that we just have. I
No.
mean, Christopher Sanchez, for a lot of people, like you brought up, who's the best pitchers in the world? Right after
He's one of them,
Skeens
yeah.
in Scooble, a lot of people believe Christopher Sanchez is up there, like a top 5.
Yeah.
guy. Right? Sandy Alcantara has won a Cy Young.
Yeah, I was going to say that Sandy Alcantara's really good.
Yes. Right. So I don't see those guys pulling back and saying, well, I don't want to do this because
Well, I told you guys the other week,
the
like,
contract
again,
here.
like how proud of their baseball players that the people in Dominican Republic are. Like when we had our honeymoon there, the guy who came to pick up our bags was like, "Oh, hey, you guys know who my cousin is?" And I was like, "Who's your cousin?" And he was like, "Who did he say?" He said the first guy said O'Neal Cruz was his cousin, and then he was like, "So I could get a good word for you." And he's like asking for a tip. I'm like, "Man," I was like, "Oh yeah, Juan Soto, your other cousin." And he was like, "Yeah, saw him a couple weeks ago." And then they have an entire store in the airport of the duty free store that's all Dominican baseball jerseys and hats. It's incredible. It was so fucking cool to see. But like that you want to talk about a country that's proud. And like this roster that you just read out, Stevie, you don't hear about any of them saying like, "Oh, I got to limit my BP. I got to limit the pitches I take." No, those
Haven't
are
heard it
guys.
yet.
Those are guys that want to go out and fucking shell. You know what I mean? Those guys want to go out and fucking rake.
Yes.
Because they're proud to put their country's flag on the front of their jersey and go out and perform. Like
Yes.
it's a badge of honor.
I don't know why. Like in this event, like I mean, we fielded some good teams. It's almost like we play from like behind of like, oh shit, like we shouldn't be losing this team. Now let's turn it up, and then you get caught up in the moment and go, oh, this is awesome. Like when Adam Jones got that, robbing that home run against Machado, right? And then last year's, you're looking at it like, I did have an issue though with Trout last year against Shohei because he said it's the only time he's ever tried to hit a home run. And it was like, it almost felt like it was treated as an exhibition.
Yeah.
Of like, man, you didn't need
because
to
it doesn't really matter. I'm going to change
because it doesn't really matter. But damn it, it mattered to me. It mattered to me.
Real to me, damn it.
It's real to me, damn it. But like
Well,
watching, it, I was like, damn,
actually,
if he just gets
in his defense, though, boy, right?
a home run would have been so cool.
Yes, but how many meaningful games has Mike Trout gotten to play in his career?
Fucking zero.
Exactly. So it's hard to criticize. It would be really hard to criticize someone.
He's my favorite.
Mm.
He's one of my favorite players too. I love Mike Trout, but
correct.
it is one of those things where like, damn, like
The
Shohei
story
was
around Trout is always going to be
fired
what
up.
if. It's always going to be what if. But yeah,
dude.
I'm right there with you, boy. I mean, I think playoff time last year, I left no mystery about how I feel about Tarek Skubal and him limiting himself because he goes
I'm with
100%,
you now.
600% of the time.
Yeah, I'm with you now. Retract my statements before. I'm with
Welcome
you
to the
now.
team.
Scooble, go compete.
Happy to have you. Welcome aboard.
Well, because again, at that point too, then why even be on the team?
You shouldn't
Exactly.
be.
You were taking a
shouldn't
roster spot. From
Make room.
someone.
Make room
Correct.
for somebody who wants it. Make somebody who's going to go out and fight.
Correct, because you're just treating that Great Britain start as just a tune-up start, like a spring training thing for the season, which is not what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be.
This is a competitive world tournament.
Yes. So yeah, you are threatening
Go fuck yourself, San
the
Diego.
competitive integrity of everything.
Yes.
And if you're not going to actually be there for the tournament, then don't be on the team. Give the spot to someone else who's going to go out and compete. And who?
Hey, by the way,
gives
I
a
just
shit.
got an email with our what caught my eye. We've been approved for media credentials at the PLL and WLL Lexus Championship Series on February 27th, 28th, and March 1st.
Or
That's this
It
weekend.
says or. I guess you get one.
I put in for all of them. That's bullshit. Those are all Atlas games, by the way.
It says your request. Yeah, it says or, but I would have to think it would be all of them. But it says it's been approved. Please refer to your credential request confirmation email to confirm which days you have requested.
All right. Well, I think that's as good a segue as we're ever going to get for Nick's strike.
That's correct.
So Nick, go ahead, ring him up. Ha!
So my strike actually comes from the lacrosse world, the collegiate world in men's lacrosse. So I don't know if you saw this game. It was on Saturday. It was number 1 Syracuse at number 14 Harvard in the snow. It was awesome.
Yes.
All right. So outside in the snow, like on the river in Cambridge or whatever it was, fantastic game. These two teams met last year twice. First in the regular season at the Carrier, whatever it's not called the Carrier Dome, whatever Syracuse is stupid.
It will always be the Carrier Dome.
The Carrier Dome,
Cambridge,
where Harvard won that game, and then in the playoffs, the NCAA tournament, the first round of the NCAA tournament, Syracuse erased like a 6-goal deficit and beat Harvard. Then, so you got a lot of recent history between these two teams. But Harvard, the Crimson, they avenged that NCAA tournament loss. They took down Syracuse 13-12. They scored the game-winning goal with less than a minute to play in that contest. Again, the snow was so cool. It was packed. There were so many people there too, which was very cool to see as well. But what I thought was amazing, it's the first win ever for Harvard over a number 1 ranked team in program history. First one ever over a number. Yes, which I thought again was remarkable. And furthermore, the Ivy League in men's lacrosse last weekend went undefeated. They won every single game that the Ivy League was in. Which is, again, it's not like the Ivy League is 15 teams, but it's still, 7-8 schools in the Ivy League, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
To win every one of those games is amazing because they're also not playing
to the public Ivy.
Yeah, they're not playing garbage competition, right? Harvard takes out Syracuse, amazing, right? So I thought that was cool to watch. It was a very fun game.
Hell yeah.
And more sports should be in the snow. By the way,
I agree.
I
100% agree.
By the way, Harvard moved.
Hello, Harvard, yo.
Hello, Harvard, you.
Yeah.
They moved from number 14 to 4.
Yeah.
After that win.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shuffling. I believe UNC is now number 1.
Cool.
They are. UNC, Notre Dame, and then my Richmond Spiders.
Correct. Yes, number 3. Because there's been a lot of shuffling because I think Maryland was number 1 and Syracuse beat them.
Yeah,
Syracuse
became
number 1.
Yeah, Maryland's 1 and 2 right now.
Well,
how about Army?
Army has a good team.
4-0.
Navy has a pretty good team too.
Navy's
number
ranked.
11.
Navy's number 20.
Navy's number 20. Army's number 11.
And you know who also has a good team?
St. Joe's. The Hawk never dies.
Really?
They're ranked number 18.
Oh, I didn't know that. Siena actually has a good team as well.
Cool. That'll show up on Stevie's YouTube TV account.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, that opened up the app. And it was Siena playing like Marist basketball on ESPNU. I was like,
and it was like the first suggestion. It was the first suggestion. Because you gave your dad an avenue to keep up with his alma mater.
Yes.
Go Saints!
Excuse me.
You're excused.
But what I was going to say is I have watched some of their basketball games too as well. And Jerry McNamara will...
McNamara, yeah.
Yes, he will not be their coach for long because he will take a bigger job. Probably at Syracuse, to be honest.
It should be Syracuse.
Because Siena's going to win over 20 games this year.
Yeah, then he'll go to Syracuse.
Yes.
Hell
yeah. Siena's been that kind of proving ground because Fran McCaffrey, the old Iowa coach.
Right.
That's where he was. Paul Hewitt, who was coach at George Mason and Georgia Tech. Siena guy. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing one or two others, actually, who went through the Siena ranks. So McNamara will just join that list. Yeah, he won't be there long. He will be a head coach at one of those power schools very soon. Very soon. Anything else before we move on?
No, sir.
And so that's going to bring us to our favorites. Brought to you, as always, by One Legacy Title and Escrow in Jacksonville, Florida. Follow them on Instagram at One Legacy Florida and visit them at onelegacyflorida.com to see how they can help you with your next house closing. One Legacy Title and Escrow, because your legacy matters. And upon request from the boy, we did our favorite fictional sports characters. So
actually, Kamlo came up with this one.
Yeah, you're sick and delusional.
Fictional sports characters.
Yeah.
Who would like to start?
Give me The Rock because you want to go because I think I have your list. All right, go on.
All right, I'll go first because Kamlo said he thinks he can guess my list, so I'll go first and see what he comes up with after this. I have 2 honorable mentions. Doug the Thug Glatt.
I don't know if I count him. He's based
Why?
on a real person.
I'm counting Doug
Okay,
Glatt.
that's fine.
But he's
All right.
not a real person, though.
He's not a real person.
Okay, all right. I withdraw.
And my other honorable mention is Chad Powers.
Okay, I'm 0 for 2.
Brutal
0
start
for
for you.
0 for 2. 0 for 2.
Number 5, Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn.
0
I
for
think it's
3.
one of the best characters ever. And Charlie Sheen can actually throw a baseball.
Yes.
I think
What the
that
hell
also
league
helps
did you play in? California Penal.
California Penal. Charlie Sheen can actually throw a baseball, which makes it so much better to watch because everyone else in that movie has no idea how to throw. It's kind of brutal. But
You may run like Maze, but you hit like shit.
Shit.
It's a great movie.
Great catch. Don't ever fucking do it again. Next one, Bobby Boucher, the Water
Yep.
Boy.
All right, that's my first one. I got one.
Yeah, if I wasn't wearing the USA jersey, I was gonna wear the Bobby Boucher jersey.
My dogs.
Go Mud Dogs. Number 3, Shane Falco,
Got that one.
Keanu Reeves. I think that movie's so good. It's so underrated. The Replacements and Shane Falco. I was talking with my coworker today about this like list, and he was like, "Oh, I'll get you mine tomorrow." But he goes, Shane Falco. He's like, "What a name." Do you think
great
that's
name.
how the movie started? They said we have the name, now let's build around it because that's such a good name.
It is a really good name. 10 out of 10.
Number 2, Roy McAvoy, Tin Cup.
Yep, got that one.
Have to have that, right? And then my number 1 is another Kevin Costner, Crash Davis.
Have that one. Okay.
Yeah. What'd you have for me?
So the ones that I had that I thought you would get, so I had Happy Gilmore on there, and then I had Rocky and Apollo. I thought you would have. I thought with like coming off the high of America, Apollo,
Rocky versus Drago.
America, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no up there for him
Yeah.
either.
But so those
That's
are
the problem with the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta go fight the Martians on Mars.
Yeah, but he's Italian.
Yes.
But yeah, those are the 3. So I had all the other ones, but those are the 3 that I had that
It was very difficult.
you
to
came up
narrow
with
this
that list.
down.
You came up with that list so quickly.
I did because I was on it. When you said it, I was like, all right, I gotta get on it and get going. And I think how good of like the Chad Powers series is obviously that jumped it into the honorable mentions because right?
Chad Powers is good. I have one on mine that's similar, so I'll go ahead and go if that's okay. Honorable mention. First honorable mention, I went with Kenny Powers.
Okay.
I thought that was a good one.
Yes, it was.
And then my comparison to Chad Powers would be Price Stick Cahill from the Owen Wilson show Stick on Apple TV.
Yes.
So
that's a good show. That's a good show.
That name is probably going to climb on the list, but it's only one season and I didn't get enough. But that is a very, very good show. And Owen Wilson plays it perfectly. So
He does a
Stick
great job.
Cahill. Number 5. Give me Crash. Give me Crash Davis. Then it speaks for itself. I mean, it's Costner in a baseball movie, and it's so good. I mean, everything. The veteran catcher coming in to just be the locker room guy and mentor the new rookie pitcher. He hasn't seen my heat.
It says, "Let's make
Announce
love."
your fucking presence of authority.
I give you a gift, and you show up my pitcher. Run, dummy.
By the way, I am gonna go to the bar that they go to, that they frequent in that movie. I'm gonna go to that bar in April because we're gonna go down to the Cary Raleigh area.
Hell yeah!
And apparently that bar is actually in Raleigh.
Okay,
it's near NC State. I think it's called Mitch's Tavern or Mitchie's Tavern, something like that. And everything was like, oh yeah, if you're a big Bull Durham fan, you're gonna love this. Like, it's the bar they go to.
Yeah, take all the pictures in the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that. Number 4, you guys will have to take this up with the committee. You guys might take issue with it. Number 4, I went with Jim Brockmire.
Very good.
I like it.
It's not technically an athlete, but he is a fictional sports character, right? I love Jim Brockmire. We just rewatched that show. It's so good. Again, similar to Kenny Powers in the sense where it's a guy who was at the top and then had a huge mental break and claws his way back through ridiculous antics. But yeah, give me Jim Brockmire in the 4 spot. 3, I went with Roy Kent. Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. He's here. He's there. He's every fucking way. Roy Kent.
Roy Kent.
Again, another show that we're rewatching. We're rewatching Ted Lasso, and the Roy Kent character is phenomenal. it's so good to watch Brent Goldstein develop that character and watch how he progresses and matures and just going from just fuck no.
That was a good impression.
I've been working on my Roy Kent impression. Tessa gave me some props last night when we were watching. I've been getting pretty good. Can I be the dragon this time? Yeah. So Roy Kent in the 3 spot. Number 2, give me Tin Cup. Give me Roy Tin Cup McAvoy. I mean, that's like when I picture like the ideal golfer, it's him. It's him, right? Like they're gonna remember a 13. They're gonna remember a 13. And it's just he's the perfect embodiment of just skill, swag, arrogance, and just oh my god, I love it. Like it's a great rags. It's not even a rags to riches story because he doesn't really come out positive at the end.
He gets the girl.
He gets the girl, but like it's yeah. I mean that's another movie that we just as a group we quote all the time, right? I can't tell you how many times I've been on the range or on the simulator.
Is that
and
Cheech?
Is that Cheech?
Yeah, that's true. We watched it for the first time with my brother in Pinehurst. He's like, "The hell is Cheech doing in a golf movie?" That was so good. Oh my gosh, that was so good. But like, I quote that movie all the time when I'm golfing. Like, and it's funny, right? If I shank a shot, I'll turn around and go, "Little chili dipper." Little chili dipper. Or how many times, Nick, have you like fake snapped your club and be like, I thin the 9,
chunk the 8,
yeah,
fan the 5,
yeah, tin Cup in the 2 spot, and that makes way for the best fictional athlete of all time in my book, and that's Happy Gilmore. Especially now that we've got some continuity with the sequel. I mean, Happy Gilmore, I think, is the big reason why a lot of us picked up a golf club when we were younger. Everybody wanted to hit that shot. And they even say it in the second movie when he goes to play on the Muni with that threesome, because this guy's going to try to hit the Happy Gilmore shot. What the hell? Like, like we've all tried it. It's iconic, it's memorable, it's wonderful, and the movie is so good. From Shooter McGavin to Chubbs Peterson to Happy Gilmore. I mean, and you even get guest appearances early on, like Lee Trevine. Like it's a wonderful movie, and Happy Gilmore is, in my opinion, the best fictional sports character of all time. So I'll hang up and listen.
I like it. I do want to point out, you said fictional sports characters, so now I'm looking at my list, and very few of them are actual athletes. The people
you took like a Brockmire route.
Like
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that, and this was not Gene Hackman. Hoosiers is a real story.
No, he's also the coach in The Replacements.
Oh yes, he is. You're right.
Whoa, yeah, that got intense. Holy shit! All right,
Fuck you.
I can't wait to hear Nick's list.
Did you
never
do
know
Hot Rod?
what you
I was
never
waiting
know
for
what
someone
Nick
to
is
do
going to
Hot
put on
Rod.
here.
Hot Rod doesn't count.
He's an athlete, isn't he?
Fictional Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a fictional Nitro Circus.
All right, so my first honorable mention is Ted Lasso.
Live.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does stem from the commercials because the commercials are gold. But obviously,
Yes.
like you brought up, Kamala, the TV show is fantastic. And obviously, it's just very... Yes, you get into some dark, deep stuff in the show. But at the end of the day, the hilarity of an American football coach coaching the soccer team, it's fun. It's soccer tackle coach.
Yeah.
Two halves, right? All
Two
of it.
halves.
All of it. Ted Lasso is great. My second honorable mention is a pair. Actually, is the broadcasting pair of Cotton McKnight and Pepper Brooks from Dodgeball.
Pepper needs new shorts.
Jason Bateman.
You won't be able to
Bill
see
Lumbergh.
very well, Cotton. That's like arguably the best part of that movie is the two of them.
Yes.
And it is like the pinnacle of comedic sports announcers too in shows.
I agree. With that,
They do such a good job. Gary Cole, underrated actor Gary Cole, who's
He's
in
so many
things.
Yes.
He's
great.
Lumbergh
He's so
from
good.
Office Space. He's the voice of Principal Shepard in Family Guy, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
Reese Bobby,
He's
Ricky
Reese
Bobby's
Bobby,
dad.
yeah, he's
He's-
Bobby.
He's in so many things, and
I got
always
two.
does such a great
I
job.
got two.
Such a great job.
Sir,
But
you don't know how long these tickets have been waiting for you. Thank you. Who
I
needs
got
to?
two.
right, so yeah, the broadcasting duo of Cotton McKnight and Pepper Brooks, amazing. Number 5, Al Chervik, which is Rodney Dangerfield's character in Caddyshack, by the way.
I knew you were gonna use that. I was waiting for that and that specific because I was thinking of Caddyshack and I was like, well, there's like Chevy Chase's character.
No,
And
My
I'm
dad
about
would. My dad would
Dangerfield.
love that made one of our lists.
the Rodney
You-
Danger.
My dad can
So what?
recite
So
that
let's
movie
dance.
beginning to end. Hey, Whitey, where's your hat? $100 says you slice it into the woods. There's no betting at Bushwood, sir.
And I never slice.
Hey, you can pay me later.
Hey,
We're all gonna get laid.
Last time I saw a mouth that good, it had a hook in it.
What wasn't the one line? I guess it's why tigers eat their young or something like that. When they're at the dinner.
It's
Well, the hat
Genius.
looks good on you, though.
yeah, this big beady eyes.
Yes, Rodney Dangerfield's character is so good in that
Yes, it is.
in that
R.I.P.
movie. Yes. Number 4 is Ricky Bobby, the
Fair.
great NASCAR driver with 2 first names. I
Mhm.
wake up in the morning, not piss excellence. There are so many lines in that movie that are
The car handled good. The car handled good. Not sure what to do with my hair.
But yes, what a great movie! What a great character! The ridiculousness. It's like pinnacle Will Ferrell type
Mhm.
stuff there. Number 3 with you, Kamlo, Brockmire. Brockmire is so good. That show is so good.
It's wonderful. Hank Azaria is a genius.
Yes, everything about that. That's also like Ted Lasso, built off of a previous like little one-off skit
Mm-hmm.
that they did on Funny or Die.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the Brockmire character is fantastic.
No one has a better voice than Brockmire, than Hank Azaria doing Brockmire. There's no better sports voice and like parody of it or whatever you want to do. Like he could say anything with that voice and I would laugh.
Well, he's
Mhm.
It's
He's
so
an-
good.
he
Well,
gives
he's an
an
expert voice actor.
He
All
gives
that
an
stuff on
entire
The Simpsons.
break. He gives an
Chief
entire
Wiggum.
breakdown of how we went from being a boob nation to a butt nation, and it like it sounds like statistical fact when he
Yes.
says it. What people have been screaming for is butts. They want butts.
Oh, she was fantastic. Give her a Jeter.
I already have the cheater. Can I get a Piazza?
These got all these Piazza ones. Well, no one wants.
Piazza ones. They just don't make sense. They just don't make sense, Charles.
Great show. Yeah, Brockmire,
Wonderful show.
fantastic. Number 2 is Roy McAvoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. we're
Model
all
my
right
game
there.
after him.
We're all right there with you.
There's no reason to play golf unless you are going for it, in my opinion. So,
Mhm.
Roy McAvoy, Tin Cup,
Do you
number 2.
qualify for the U.S. Open with just a 7?
Oh,
Hell,
hell,
Roy,
Roy.
never occurred to me to try.
Hit my 7 like Daly hits a
It's a
3.
3.
It's a lock.
This is great. And then
What's Cheech doing in this movie?
number 1 is Crash Davis. Like you said, boy, it's that character too. Especially that movie. I would argue is the best sports movie ever.
Yeah, I think I had that. I either had that 1 or 2 because I had Friday Night Lights, the football movie,
Yeah, you had that up there as well.
right? So I had either Friday Night Lights or Bull Durham as 1 or 2 because that I agree it's
But I mean,
it's
the,
one of the best sports movies ever.
the movie is so iconic, and like we saw it when we were down in Asheville for your bachelor party, boy. When we went to see The Tourists, they had concession stands named after the
And
players. Where we
and
got our
all
hot
it
dogs
was-
was Crash's Kitchen.
And Crash Davis was on the Asheville Tourist for the last
Yeah.
minute
Scene.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The end scene.
Yes.
Just to get
and
his
he
record.
quit and he leaves halfway through the season or
Mhm.
something.
No, he hits the home run, gets the record, and leaves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that movie and that character is just so iconic that it transcends competition. Like in no way does it really like paint the tourists in any sort of light, but god damn it, are we going to capitalize on the likeness of Crash Davis?
That got me.
Your old man's here. He's as full of shit as anyone.
We're dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah, is that a live rooster? Is that what
And no one knows what to get Millie for her wedding.
Candlesticks make a
candlesticks.
good gift. You could find out where she's registered. Let's turn to the run with the hands in the pocket. Hit the goddamn bull. Now he gets a free steak.
And he teed off on that like he knew it was coming. He did. I told him.
Fastball.
When they speak of me, speak kindly.
Oh my god, yeah, Nick, that's it. I mean, just Costner in sports movies, period, are phenomenal.
Well, I
Like
mean,
it's
yes.
top tier.
It goes back to something that Stevie brought up with Charlie Sheen, right? Kevin Costner can play sports. Right?
Yes.
Correct.
Athletic
why
enough to do those things, so that helps. And also, when you've played sports too, you kind of understand more of like the mindset or where to draw things from when you're
Mhm.
acting in these movies. So it's less about like forcing yourself to learn how to act like this and more natural. Like you understand it more, you can anticipate your reactions to things are more genuine. So I think that does have a the big reason why Costner's done so well in those movies.
Yeah, it's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
You think
But
I fucking
None of us
peaked?
did. None of us did Channing Tatum in 22 Jump Street.
No, we did not.
That is one of my favorite because again, that's someone who played sports.
Yeah.
It's a meet cute. We're having a meet cute.
There were so many I had to knock off of
Yeah,
here.
Stevie, I was surprised
just
with how
difficult.
quickly you had yours because I thought about mine for a while.
I go with the gut. A lot of it's going with the gut, and I
Mhm.
had to think of first like my favorite movies of it,
Mhm.
and then what's real, what's not,
Mhm.
and then go through like, okay, I love these characters. Like
Yeah.
they're part of the reason why I watch the movies.
Yeah.
Like
That's
Shane Falco, Keanu Reeves, and Shane Falco is one of the biggest reasons why I watch The Replacements.
Mm-hmm.
Winners always want the ball. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I love
man,
that. That's not Shane Falco that says it, but I love that line towards
Mhm.
Shane Falco.
the major league characters, like, you know, yes, you brought up Wild Thing Ricky Vaughn, but who I love as well. But then you've got like the coach, I think Lou Wood is his name, who I wanted to put on there, pissing on the contract,
It says right here, I can't do any calisthenics.
right? In Harry
That's what needs
Doyle,
to happen to Scooble's contract.
yeah, Harry Doyle, the announcer, the late great Bob Uecker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic in that too,
Can't
right?
say
So there
goddamn
were
it
there
on
were
the
so many
Relax,
things.
no one's watching.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
One
That's a good call.
goddamn hit, isn't that what he says?
Yeah, one hit, one goddamn hit. That's all we got.
I mean,
Can't say goddamn on the air.
that character, I think, sets up for a lot of really good fictional like commentators. Like you saw it in Goon, going back to your Doug Glatt movie, right? When the girl sings the
That was
Canadian national,
borderline
yeah,
treason.
it's like that was borderline treasonous. My grandfather didn't fight the Nazis in Normandy, and the puck is dropped, and we're underway here in the frame. You know, like so many movies pull from like that exact thing, and I think Major League probably came first with the goofy, hilarious
Yeah, I
announcer
agree.
in like a semi-serious like sports movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's foundational.
Yes, but a lot of it could have had a ton of honorable mentions. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, no, this
Whole
segment
crew.
could have gone on forever.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. No longest yard characters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. So that'll take us to our final segment, our what to look for. Brought to you as always by VB Cookie Co. Looking for the perfect way to stand out at the next event you are hosting? Well, custom cookies are a timeless way to have everyone still buzzing even after they leave. Look no further for your cookie needs than VB Cookie Co. Follow them on Instagram at VB Cookie Co. and message them to order yours today. Whether it is a bridal shower, birthday, engagement, or baby shower, their team will work with you to make all your cookie dreams come true. VB Cookie Co. for the sweetest moments. Who would like to give the people something to look for?
Hit me. I'm
All right.
open. All right, so I went through college basketball for this weekend of the ACC, Big 12, SEC, and Big 10 and grabbing the biggest matchups. Actually, let's start with Friday. Michigan at Illinois. That's a pretty big heavyweight showdown. Illinois, I think, can be a Final Four team. They are really good. Michigan State is always that team that's like, they kind of hang around, are dangerous, and you go Izzo and March, right?
No, is it Michigan?
Oh,
or
sorry, Michigan.
State?
I'm sorry, Michigan. Michigan at Illinois. I read my list wrong. Sorry, I retract that statement. Michigan at Illinois. Arkansas at Florida. Florida is playing unbelievably well. That's always fun. Kansas at Arizona. Kansas is up and down. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. They just waxed Houston somehow. And then they lose by 20 to Cincinnati right before that. So Kansas makes no sense to me. Arizona's really, really good. And then this one's for you, Nick. Big time showdown between UVA and Duke. That's a noon start, actually. And that is going to be between the number 1 team in the country and the number 11 team in the country. And by the way, UVA just beat the piss out of NC State tonight.
Hell
They won
yeah,
by 30. Yeah. It was like 91 to 60.
let's go.
So big
Love
time
that.
college basketball as we get close to tournament watch. These are the heavyweights, but there will be a lot of bubble watch. I think Miami parentheses Ohio. I guess they don't like saying of Ohio. But they won tonight. The Fighting Wally Zerbiaks. A lot of good stuff to watch for.
Yeah, good list. I don't really have a whole lot to look forward to. I mean, there's hockey that's getting ready to start back up post Olympics, and that's always fun. Pretty boy Connor McDavid McJesus is allegedly being load managed for a couple of games, so he is not going to be right back in the mix up there in Edmonton. He's going to take a couple
Oh,
of
puss
games
puss.
off. Yeah, right. Some people don't want it as much. But what I do think a lot of people should do is, if you're coming down off of the Olympic high and you need something to scratch the itch, I'm going to recommend two things on Netflix for you. One, Miracle, the D's hockey team documentary on Netflix. It's about 90 minutes long. Really, really good. If you liked the Miracle movie that Disney produced years ago, this is a phenomenal watch. This will bring pride to your heart and tears to your eye. I watched it, and man, did it hit home. And again, it scratches that Olympic itch, right? And kind of instills, if it's possible, more pride after what our men and women hockey players just did in the Olympics. The second is a docu-series called Court of Gold, and that is a docu-series, I think it's like a 6 or 8 episode docu-series about Olympic basketball in Paris. Not just the American, but also all the big heavy hitters, right? They're going to cover the USA, they're going to cover Canada, they cover France, they cover who the hell did Jokic play for? Slovenia? Serbia, that's it. Yeah, so they cover Serbia, and they have interviews with all of them, and it's very, very enlightening and really, really cool to see. You get a lot of really good behind the scenes watch in real time of not just the basketball stuff, but also other sports as well, and as the Olympians kind of interact with each other, and the athletes from different sports and different countries. So it's a really good watch so far. I'm about 3 episodes in, but great way to kind of start easing down and coming off of the high that is the Olympics. So those are my, I guess, 3 things: hockey, documentary on hockey, and documentary on Olympic basketball.
All right. Very good. I got several things here just because we're in that kind of season where there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that I think is worth watching too, right? So first, men's lacrosse, college-wise, you brought up, boy, the number 3 Richmond Spiders. They are actually going to travel to number 5 Cornell. Ever heard of it? So number 3.
That's Big Red Bear.
That's Big Red Bear.
Number 3 versus number 5 is pretty good.
Get ready to learn Spider Fever there, Cornell.
You have number 13 Johns Hopkins will travel to number 14 UVA. It was me, Johnny Hopkins, and Sloan Ketterman, and we're blazing that shit up all day. And then newly minted number 1 UNC will travel to number 7 Princeton. I believe that game is on Sunday as well. So there were some other ones, but those ones stood out to me. NASCAR has a road race this week, which road races are always way cooler, at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. So that should be fun. The LPGA Tour is playing the HSBC Women's World Championships in Singapore. It's always a decent tournament. Then you have Indian Wells. It's one of the biggest tennis tournaments of the year. It's like a lot of ways the 5th major, if you will. That starts on Sunday in California. And then the PLL and WLL Champ Series, that kicks off this weekend at the St. James in Springfield, Virginia.
So who's going? Because we need someone.
We'll figure it out.
Because we have media credentials.
Anything else before we wrap this up?
No.
That's going to do it for us here at What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. As always, for the man Stephen Comlow and the boy Stephen Vesci, I am the coach Nick Vesci. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, and all that information can be found on our website, WCMEsports.com. Be on the lookout for a special NFL Draft Preview edition with the always incomparable Tony Pauline. That'll be released later this week, right before the NFL Combine. Remember, be decent to each other, have a good one, and we will see you next time. Take care, Guatemala.